poppin' be? Purpuck here, and welcome back to another episode of Race the Ramen, the show where I attempt to review something unscripted and the amount of time it takes to boil an instant ramen. And today we'll be taking a look at Madam Web, showing now in theaters. Alright, we're going to start the timer right now. Okay, so, Madam Web. If you don't know what this is, I'm very happy to be the person who gets to enlighten you, so thank you for making that decision with me. Madam Web is the latest superhero movie from Sony and their attempts to expand the Spider-Man cinematic universe. Obviously, like a year or two ago at this point, we got Morbius, just a classic meme of a movie. I reviewed it on this channel, actually. Just an actually shitty, garbage, fucking barely functional movie that was just awful. Pretty much everyone agreed on that, and it flopped to high heaven. And they only really did Morbius because Venom was so successful, and it was like, Spider-Man villains, we want to make our own Spider-Man spin-off things. And I'm pretty sure that is what led to the creation of Madam Web, because I don't really know anything about her, but Madam Web is like an old Spider-Man villain, and they're like, let's make this into a movie. And if their plan was to basically make another Morbius, they succeeded. Because Madam Web is terrible. I want to make this as clear as possible. This movie is awful. Dog shit. Horrible. Doesn't really even work as a movie. But it was kind of amazing. Like, Morbius is obviously a huge meme at this point. It's like, Morbin time, make $1 billion, because no one liked it, no one really saw it, and it flopped horribly. But that's kind of the thing that's like, the excitement surrounding Madam Web. It's the same two writers as Morbius and everything. And this, like, from the outset, just looked worse. Like, the trailers were confusing and just full of stuff that didn't really make sense. Dakota Johnson, the main actress, has been on her press tour literally bad-mouthing this movie, saying it's, like, everything wrong with the industry and, like, designed by AI to be your boyfriend's new favorite movie. Genuinely, like, harmful, like, blunt, burning things about the state of the industry, and it's for a movie she's in that's out right now. Like, that's just the state of things. I actually went and saw Madam Web yesterday on Valentine's Day opening night with a date, partly because I was just curious why they'd want to release this movie on Valentine's Day. It doesn't seem romantic or anything. And if the plan was to have people go out in the evening for a nice date and then have your date, fall asleep and end up back at your place or something, that might have worked out because my date was asleep for the entire last half hour of the movie. She literally missed the climax. And around the time that was playing out, there's a guy in front of me, like, opening his phone and looking at stuff. I got to go to the bathroom at some point. I saw people just, like, confused. One guy was sleeping. Like, oh my god, this movie is a mess. Like, here's the thing. It might be worse than Morbius in certain ways. In other ways, it's better. Like, Morbius is a dog shit movie, but, like, they're similar, but they're also different. They're like beautiful butterflies of awfulness. Like, Morbius has, like, no themes and, like, no interesting characters. And, well, Madam Web isn't, like, much better than that. It has a theme I can parse out. And characters. They're not good and they're not deep, but they're there. Most of the plot, on, like, a very basic level, you can follow it scene to scene. But that's mainly just because it's so repetitive and boring. Like, Madam Web doesn't really even have superpowers. She can see, like, a minute into the future, like she has Garnet's future vision. But only, like, sometimes when the plot demands it, and she only really, like, develops her powers in full towards the end of the movie. So for most of the movie, you're watching Dakota Johnson be horribly confused, and they illustrate that to the audience with horribly, horribly confusing editing. So awful that it's on, like, the same level as, like, the first Suicide Squad, if not worse. I don't know what they did to this movie, but it feels like horribly butchered in post by, like, something. Apparently it was supposed to be set in the 90s, but for some reason it's set in 2003 now. There's really no reason for that. And all the Spider-Man connections are so tenuous. Literally, Ben Parker is in this movie, and like Peter Parker is being born. They're having a baby shower, and like we're gonna reveal the name. They never tell you that it's Peter Parker, but you know it is because you have any familiarity with Spider-Man. You're gonna pick up on those things and be like, oh, but it has nothing to do with anything. And if you don't understand that stuff about Spider-Man, you're gonna be totally confused. The plot is just like repetitive, like we gotta get away from the villain, and then they escape the villain. And there's no tension because you know they're gonna be fine, and it just gets dumber and dumber, and it repeats itself, and it looks like shit, and the dialogue's insane, the editing's awful. It was amazing. Hopefully that gives you a decent impression of what I think of the movie. Like, Madam Web is a landmark shitty movie. Like, I'm seeing people compare this to like Catwoman and Elektra is one of those like all-time great shit superhero movies. Like mostly just so bad it's bad, but like ironically funny in a lot of ways for how incompetent and ridiculous it is. There's so much more I could talk about. I almost might want to do a spoiler discussion. Let me know if you want to see that. Because holy shit, what a nightmare. Like, I had a great time watching this with my girlfriend. It was a lot of fun, and I don't regret going. But what a slog. If I'm gonna like really judge this movie objectively, it fucking sucks. It's a terrible superhero movie. It's a terrible movie in general. It is boring. It is weirdly predictable for all of its like crazy ideas. And for all the like loud, intense stuff that happens in it, it really is just boring. Long and draining, and it has no idea what it is. This is like the least movie I have seen out of a movie in a while. Like, it's like a version of Everything Everywhere All at Once if everything was done wrong or something. This is just fucking terrible. It was like I was witnessing a new breakthrough in shitty movie technology. Dakota Johnson, I applaud you for telling people this movie sucks. Because it's what you should be doing. No one should see this. Do not pay to see this. As much fun as I had seeing it, I can recommend it to people who like a bad movie to laugh at. Do not pay to see this. Do not support this. I'm bewildered this even happened at all. They clearly learned nothing from Morbius, and I want this to flop so that they learn to do better, because, like, there's bad movies, and then there's, like, the movie equivalent of writing an entire paper the night before it's due, because that's what this feels like. I give Madam Web a 2 out of 10. Almost a 1. It may go down on a rewatch if there is a rewatch. It's just such a mess. It starts potentially interesting, and all of its little bits of good ideas, any good performances or interesting things are buried under everything that's wrong with it. And if you want to like check it out just to witness its awfulness, it's worth it for that. But again, use a gift card, use Regal Unlimited, something. Don't pay to see this. Don't support this. Don't support Madam Web. Or we'll all get stuck in this sticky web of fucking Hollywood horseshit even further. Ay. Great time. Horrible movie. Highly recommended. Fucking A. You know, this is a random thing to end on, but I just want to ask. Both the trailers for Madam Web and Morbius lied to the public to make the movie look worse than it was. Like, Morbius had, like, I'm Venom. Just kidding, it's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service line that they cut from the movie that was in the trailer. That meme line of, my mom was studying spiders in the Amazon right before she died.
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
It's not even in this movie. Like, that exact thing happens, but the line doesn't happen. Like, I want to ask the marketer who came up with it. I'm looking at you right now, okay? You and me, whoever marketed that, I want to know. That line is incredibly stupid. It's like the stupidest line ever. Super cheesy. Why would you have the main actress say that if it's not even in the movie? Why would you go out of your way to make your movie look dumber? Why'd you do that?